Hello, and welcome to my 2021 SuperCoach Round 1 review and team reveal. Going into it, scored a score of 2,163 in Round 1, landing me in the top 1%, with a round rank of 1,789, which is a very good score for the week. I think the weekly only got scored 2,400, who's actually in SuperCoach George's Discord. I won the draft league. That's not very important right now, but I'm just going to go through my team, run it down a bit, some of the picks, why I picked players and didn't pick players, and that's it. Oh, starting with the backline. Backline performed really well. No Jordan Clark. I picked Hayden Young over Jordan Clark. One of my reasonings for Young over Clark is I think starting Young over Clark was the move because he has better job security, although Clark is it seems like he's going to assert himself in that Geelong side. But in the off chance that Clark is definitely more likely to be a sub than Young, and for 30k more, I'll take the job security and the unlikeliness to be a sub. And even though at the time when I did select Young, I thought if Young flops, it's much easier to go from Young to Clark than get the 30k somewhere, even though I have it in the bank, to go Clark to Young. So I think downgrading Young rather than upgrading Clark would be more feasible. But anyway, Young worked out. One thing I tried to do is avoid COVID breakouts. Now, you may see Jordan Ridley, and I do have reasoning behind Ridley because I was tossing up between him and Caleb Daniel, and what I've noticed is what's obvious is Caleb Daniel has a tendency to get little injuries and miss 2 to 5 games during the year, where Ridley, even though he's only just broken out and played a full season, I don't think he had like a minor calf issue, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, in the preseason. And I just believe Ridley is going to be a very good, solid premium and probably a top 6 defender for sure, in my opinion. Caleb Daniel might be there as well, but I just rather the non-injury risk. Now, I did well in the rookies. Oh, well, obviously, because Cozzy and Highmore, only 2 real playing rookies apart from Henry Sharp, but I don't like his job security. Being a Lions rookie who's still in school, he's obviously probably still going to focus on school, I've heard from a couple of people in SuperCoach George's Discord. But yeah, I don't think he has the greatest job security. Going in the midfield, one thing I lucked out on is No Neil. I didn't really watch the game, I was out, but from what I hear, he just looked sluggish, and the pick I've chosen over him is Fife, which is very contradicting to the reason I picked Ridley because of injuries. But I'm not going to lie, I do have very big bias towards Fife. He is my favourite player in the league, but it's a similar pick to Josh Kelly, where I think if it works out, you get a very good start. The likelihood, not so much, but that 120k I got from Fife got me to go from a Jordan Butts or a Zach Guthrie, if you chose him, to a Hayden Young. So I think in the end it worked out. I lucked out on the rookies. I did have Pal on instead of Jordan though, but that's pretty good. The only one I really got, it didn't even work, but internet's cooked, but whatever. The only one I got wrong is those 2, which I think that's pretty good for however many rookies we had. Brockman and McNeil are not sure if they get a game. Brockman could get pushed out by Wingard, but I think his just overall performance was good enough to keep him in the side. McNeil I'm not sure about. I think he's probably gone. Now, talking about the rucks, Grundy and Gawn, off week for both of them. Grundy Jackson took a couple hitouts, I believe, so that didn't help him, and Grundy just didn't look the greatest, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. And Flynn with a whopping 140. I think the wet conditions helped him with much more stoppages, and it's just, I don't know. I've heard a lot of people think about trading Grundy or trading Gordon. I just don't like that idea because I think realistically, this early, you're not going to be able to get 2 premiums out of them if you're splitting them. So I just don't like that idea. And Flynn is realistically not going to do this again. His fixture, internet's bad, but his fixture, it looks kind of easy, but I just wouldn't trust it. Josh Dunkley, good starting pick. I think a lot of the SuperCoach community started him. Dustin Martin blew it out of the water, but I still like the Dunkley pick better. Jack Zeeble, obviously a great start. He's just going to get kickouts. It's always going to be in North's 50, so anytime a team misses, just a kickout. Impey was heavily underscored. I think on the first half, he had like 40, and at the end of the game, he had 49. He got scaled up 15 after full time, but I expect better scores from Impey. I'm sure he can provide. Chad Warner, 70. Well, Jimmy Rowe, 104. Oh, sorry. Jimmy Rowe, 104. Did really well from what I saw in the Crows game. The Crows got up against the Cats. And the Crows have the Swans next week, so he could be on the field. Scott, mature age, that's why I fielded him. I had Rowe on the bench and I had Comben on. That's just a loophole thing. He could get another game. He's a mature age rookie. I don't think it was that terrible, so I think he can get up. And Bergman, with Bonner pulling a hamstring, he might be able to sustain his spot for another week. Just looking at the trade outs, I think you hold Grundy and Gawn. There's no real reason to getting rid of them. You know, they're going to be the top 2 ruckmen, whether it's down. It's just, I don't really see the point. And Flynn at R2, it just doesn't sound nice. And he had an injury in the game, I think. It was his ankle, which played up in the preseason. And I just don't like it. Some players that I don't have that are probably getting traded in for Baz or McGrath, pardon me, or Tidge, Rail and Dangerfield. Now, Rail has done a PCL, I believe, so I would... It's very unfortunate for the bloke, but you're going to have to get rid of him. The top targets for Rail range are probably Andy Brayshaw, Sam Walsh, Andy McGrath, Baz, and Taranto. I think Taranto is probably the safest. He can get the ball. It's just whether he butchers it or not. Brayshaw seems to get more time on ground, so he could be a good option, but I'm just not the biggest fan of Brayshaw. Sam Walsh looks like the best option out of the 5 I just mentioned, but he's also the most... Oh, wait, no. He's the second most expensive after Brayshaw. McGrath, who I actually really like, he laid 11 tackles. He played really well against Hawthorn. I really like the pick. I think there was people in George's Discord thinking about starting him, but ended up didn't. But yeah, he looks really good, and he's pretty close to Rao's price, so I think he's one to consider. Baz, best on ground, but with all the Dogs mids, I just don't see the real point. He's not going to go too big often. I mean, he might go big every once in a while, but the Dogs mids are just going to feed up. You got McRae, Bont, Dunkley, Treloar, just all those guys who are going to suck points away from him. I just don't like it. And obviously Taranto, who gets the possessions. It's just whether he's effective with them. And you're banking 40k from it. And who do the Giants have? Freo. So he could go decent against them, I guess. But yeah, my 3 faves out of the ones I just listed are Walsh, McGrath, and Taranto. And another player who is probably out for a couple weeks is Dangerfield. Dangerfield, get him out. I don't think he was a good starting point player to begin with. Groin issues, through preseason, not turned 30, 31. He's in his 30s now. It's just not a great starting pick, especially at 610,000. I think if he's in your midfield, go straight to Tom Mitchell. He got 40 possessions. He's just going to go up and, geez, he looks like he could go 120, 115. I don't know. Hawthorn don't really have anyone to take points from him, but Hawthorn are also a losing side, so I don't know. I'm also a Hawthorn fan, so that could make me biased. And if he's in your forward line, just go straight to Dunkley. And if you have Dunkley, Dusty. Dusty looked amazing, but whether he stoops down and starts cruising like in games against Hawthorn, Sydney, who they have upcoming, I don't know. I think Dusty could just cruise back to like drop a 60, then a 90, then a 120. I think Dunkley is more. He wants that midfield spot. He's phenomenal talent, and I think he wants to sustain his spot there, and I think Dunkley will be the number 1 forward for 2021. But otherwise, I think that's my week wrapped up. Pretty good, being in the top 1%. Nothing really else to add. Oh, screen's going to be in wacko there, but yeah, I think that's really it. So thank you guys for listening. This is my first SuperCoach video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I guess I might do previews, but usually I think I'll just do a Monday, Sunday recap of a round, and that will be it, because I am in year 12 and dealing with school and stuff. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Thank you.